Hello, I'm Claire Watt from Ditton HR. I'm the Managing Director and Founder.
So thank you very much for joining us today, Claire. It's a pleasure to see you. The reason you're here today is actually that you've won Small Business Leader of the Year for Ditton HR Limited. My first question is, could you provide an overview of the career journey that ultimately led to you becoming Director of Ditton HR, along with a brief description and history of the business?
Yeah, sure. So I did a psychology degree and really liked the occupational psychology elements of it. So the bits that related to people at work. So I went straight into HR, working in HR and recruitment for a law firm. And then over the next 20 years, skipping ahead 20 years, I worked in a variety of different HR roles in different sectors, retail, tourist attractions, and then not-for-profit and charity. And then I ended up, before I started Ditton HR 11 years ago, I was Director of People at Samaritans, which was a brilliant charity, really enjoyed it. And at that point, I felt like I had enough experience and also wanted more flexibility. So I decided to go into HR consultancy and started up Ditton HR 11 years ago. For 6 years, it was just me doing HR consultancy for small businesses. And then about 5 years ago, I had so much work coming in, I thought I need more people. And then it just basically snowballed from there. And now I've got a team of 18 working with a lot of different small businesses that don't have an HR department and bigger companies that do, but need extra specialist support to run a certain project, for example. And that's why I got to where I am today.
What challenges and problems have you faced as Director of Ditton HR, and what advice would you give to someone who is looking maybe to start their own HR consultancy business?
Yeah, I suppose the initial challenge was having the confidence to leap from a proper job with a regular pay packet, often quite well paid, into being a freelance consultant. That's a big leap. And I think a lot of people do it, maybe they want more flexibility around caring commitments, etc. So that's sort of how I started into it. But it was a big leap and I was a bit sort of scared. But my advice would be on that note to have a buffer of money ready, maybe 6 months money, if you can, build it up before you leave your proper job, so that you can buffer those low points, because there will be peaks and troughs. And it's not everybody's cup of tea working in a sort of your own business or a freelance capacity. The work comes and goes, the money comes and goes accordingly. So have that buffer ready so that you don't feel the pain when it comes, and ride it out, really enjoy the quiet times, because it will be busy again soon, I promise. So that would be my first a bit of advice. Another challenge is probably getting the right team behind you if you do decide to build your business further. So you need to find the right people that believe in your values and can promote your company as if you would. They have to be on the same track as you. So finding those key people with the specialist skills that you need. So that's what I've managed to do in my belief, is get people in the team that have the same values as me and also have the skills. So I have a wide breadth of skills I can offer my clients, so they can just come to us and we can cover anything to do with HR, training, recruitment, coaching, mediation, employment tribunals, all that side of things. We've got a lawyer on board, GDPR. So I've basically grown it over time so we can cover all areas. So another challenge is probably finding the right people, like I said, and finding the right clients you want to work with that kind of suit the way that you want to work with people. But I would just say, there are some challenges. I think as long as you have that buffer of money and have a good network around you, there's loads of HR professionals doing the same sort of thing that are really generous with their time and advice. Reach out to them on social media and just have that kind of virtual team.
You've talked about how you've built this team over the 6 years, which is fantastic. And obviously it's led to you winning the Small Business Leader in the Surrey Business Awards. What would you attribute as the main reason for that success?
I think offering small businesses sort of pragmatic and flexible advice, because they are often only got, 5 to 10 employees, maybe a few more. They don't need a big long-winded legal response necessarily. They want, what's the minimum I have to do, or, I want to develop in this area, but they don't really know. That's why they come to us, what they need. So I think it's about just offering them support that's right for them and their size and their ambitions and their financial situation. So we're very flexible on that front. So I think that's helped, and offering, highly professional services, being very responsive. Small business owners, they want, when something happens in HR, they want a response quickly. It's normally quite urgent in their eyes and they're quite stressed about it. So we make sure we always get back to people quickly. If one of us is tied up, another member of the team can respond. So people have always got that security and that confidence that they've got someone on the end of a phone that can help. So I'd say they're the sort of main things that, you know, people come back to us for, because they build a relationship with us. So although, you know, I'll allocate somebody to each client and they're their main point of contact, but then they've got the team behind them as well. But we build the relationships with those people. So we become the CEO's trusted advisor, for example. You know, they often come to us and talk about things that aren't necessarily HR related, because they're very lonely in their role sometimes. They just want somebody they can trust, who's confidential, they can just talk to. So I'd say that was sort of key to the success, really.
Talking about the success, I know it's still the early days since we've won. I think it's only been a month since the announcement. But since winning that award, how has that affected your business? Have you seen external factors, internal factors with the team? How would you say that's affected your team so far?
I mean, it's great for our, you know, morale. It's great to be recognised. Like you said, it's early days, but, you know, I've put some things out on social media and had some really lovely responses. We just had our Christmas work drink, so we took the award with us to the pub and took some photographs. So, you know, it's just a nice thing to sort of take stock of where you are and to be recognised like that. And I'm sure, you know, over the coming months, it will bring in new clients as well, because it's kind of builds their confidence in you. Oh, you've been recognised in this area. And last September, I won another award. It's not to show off, but just because I know how it can really help. You know, it really catapulted my business forward, and it really, you know, brought in lots more clients, and it just gave me lots of sort of social media content, things to talk about. So I would definitely say it's a good thing, and I'm sure this award will help me as well in the future.
As a multi-award winner, would you recommend Business Awards UK to other businesses? And if so, why?
Definitely. You know, it takes a while to fill out any application form for an award, but it's worth the investment. And obviously, it's a lovely surprise if you hear you're a finalist or even a winner. I'd say you were all really responsive. So if I had a query and I emailed you about it, I'd get a response really quickly. I think the deadline was extended at one point, so I had a nice email about that. And then a following up with like this interview, you know, very responsive, very quick turnaround. And I think that's really important. You need to move quickly on these things. You need to maximise the exposure once you get the award. So time is of the essence. And I'd say that, you know, you were really good at that customer service side of things. So yes, I would definitely recommend applying if you haven't done already.
Near the end of the year now, you've had the Christmas party. I'm sure you can all forward to 2024. But what is the next big step for yourself, Claire, and Ditton HR, would you say?
Yeah. I think, you know, building the business even further, maybe, you know, in the last year, I've taken on a lot more things, you know, a lot more partnerships with other companies that can work with us to help support clients. So I think building on that. I've recently partnered up with another organisation that works with high net worth individuals. So that's going to be an exciting new project for next year. See what clients we get through that. So there's some exciting things happening, but yeah, just building on what we've built so far this year, really, and just carrying on offering a professional service to our clients.
Brilliant. I think that's very interesting, especially that high net people. That would be a very interesting project for 2024. But yeah. Thank you again so much for joining us today, Claire. It's been an absolute pleasure. If people want to chat to you or Ditton HR, where can they find you?
They can book a call on my website, which is dittonhr.co.uk.
Brilliant. Again, thank you so much for joining us, Claire. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you very much.